Topping today's news, senators debate and pass the Mining Bill 2023, water supply relief coming to residents in eastern New Providence, police forced to shoot a man after he stabs an officer, and we'll give you more on what's happening around the Bahamas. Jcn Evening News. I'm Jcn Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Nearly 4 weeks after members of the lower chambers debated and passed the Mining Bill 2023, Attorney General Senator Ryan Pinder began debate on the bill in the Senate today, where he explained why the legal framework is so important for continued mining in the country.
And historically, while these minerals have been prospected and exploited by investors who have been granted concessions to do so, these investors in the Bahamas currently are not subject to any legal, fiscal, or regulatory framework. It is a significant void within our regulatory environment as a jurisdiction. As a result, the imposition of a legal framework which balances the competing interests while protecting the rights and communities and individuals, while preserving the environment and the use of finite resources in our jurisdiction, and recognizing the national interest in exploiting mineral wealth is of particular importance. These are all elements that must be balanced together when you talk about mining or extraction activities in our jurisdiction.
Pinder says while the Free National Movement may have introduced the mining bill, it is the PLP that has done the heavy lifting and will position the new mining industry to help develop the country.
Under our administration's economic plan, the proper exploitation of natural resources is proposed as an avenue to diversify our country's economy, to create jobs, to create a more inclusive economic framework for the benefit of Bahamians. The government's economic plan also proposes the utilization of a modern sovereign wealth regime to receive revenue generated through natural resource development. Under the provisions of this bill we debate today, not only will a mining industry be established, but the revenues of such industry are proposed to be allocated to a specific subfund under the National Investment Fund Act, which we passed earlier in our administration. This also ensures the proper custody and the proper management of public revenues that are derived from the mining industry, and adds an element of transparency to the whole process.
Senator Pinder noted that the bill will ensure the proper management of public revenue generated from the mining industry, and it will add another element of transparency as well. In large part, the official opposition supports the bill, but pointed out several concerns they wish to see the government address. During his contribution to the Senate debate today in the Senate, Darren Henfield, Free National Movement senator, accused the PLP of bringing the mining legislation before the policy was in place and giving too much authority to the minister responsible.
Mr. President, it is also mind-boggling an administration like this one, which appears challenged by transparency and accountability, challenged, will abrogate unto itself such extraordinary powers as have been given to the minister responsible for protection and conservation and management of the environment. Challenged, this administration is, the transparency and accountability. But you're going to take, if you look at this act, and I took my time and went through it, and I marked every place where someone has to say the minister responsible. And I got tired marking the spots. I really, you got to see the minister about a license. You got to see the minister about this. You got to see the minister about that.
Senator Henfield suggested the government create a mining commission like many of the other Caribbean and Commonwealth countries to eliminate that conflict of interest he spoke about with the minister, who would have the responsibility of approving licenses as well as protecting the environment. Senator Henfield promised that the Free National Movement will make those necessary changes to the bill when they win the government in 2026. Henfield also criticized the government for traveling the globe speaking on climate change issues, but being quick to adopt projects that could damage the environment, like the Falcon 9 space rocket booster landings in the Exumas. A new water project launched for residents in eastern New Providence. The Joe Farrington Road water renewal and replacement in some instances. That project aimed to significantly improve the water supply system in the Joe Farrington Road corridor. Minister of Works Clay Sweeting shared plans for the first phase of this water project.
So while the Ministry of Works is funding the overall project, the first phase would be the water main renewal, as we've already spoken about today. The Ministry and Water and Sewage continues to work closely together, headed by Minister Lundy and his team, to ensure this critical first step is completed before paving efforts begin.
Minister of State Leon Lundy explained that the government pledged to provide a more reliable service, improve water quality, and a stronger, more resilient water supply system. He says they're delivering on those promises.
This upgrade will bring stronger and more consistent water pressure to homes and businesses, enhance water quality that continues to meet World Health Organization standards. Upgraded infrastructure will serve the area for decades to come. This project is more than pipes. It's about ensuring that every resident and every business in the community can enjoy the basic dignity and security that comes with reliable water service.
The government has made it a priority to invest in critical infrastructure, not simply to repair what is broken, Mr. Lundy said, but to build stronger, smarter, and more sustainable systems that meet the needs of the Bahamian people today and into the future. Today, police continue their investigation into an incident that occurred on Saturday that led to the shooting and arrest of a 30-year-old male. Shortly before 9:45 a.m. on Saturday, officers responded to a dispute on Seymour Street, Yellow Elder Gardens, involving two males. Upon the officers' arrival, one of the individuals fled on foot. A brief pursuit ensued, during which time the male brandished a sharp object and confronted an officer, resulting in that officer sustaining a stab wound and injuries to his right hand. The male was subsequently shot and arrested. The suspect was transported to the hospital to seek medical attention. Again, investigations continue into that matter. And finally, in this segment, a 21-year-old man is in hospital after being shot last night. Police say gunfire erupted shortly after 10 p.m. on Lily of the Valley corner. Two men were outside a residence when a silver Japanese model vehicle stopped nearby. Two gunmen exited that vehicle and fired shots in the direction of the pair before fleeing the scene. The 21-year-old was shot several times, transported to the hospital by an ambulance, where he is last listed in serious but stable condition. You're watching JCN News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.